Afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Kelly Volk. Sioux Falls police have identified the two teens who died in what they call a catastrophic crash Saturday morning.
Police say that Milana Reeves and Eric Hopkins were killed. 5 others inside the SUV went to the hospital. They range in ages from 13 to 17 years old. Police say multiple people were thrown when the SUV crashed into a central Sioux Falls home. Witnesses first on the scene say that some of the teenagers were unconscious. Others were crying for help.
I've never seen anything like it. Never, not in my life. I'm 55 years old, and I've never seen anything like that. It was like a movie. It was like pulling up to a movie, and you say movies are that good. It was just something I'd never want to see again.
Steve Blumke was driving to work and saw the crash from start to finish. He says the white Durango that the teenagers were in was traveling at a high rate of speed when it crashed. We'll hear more from him coming up on KELOLAND News at 6.
Sioux Falls police are investigating 2 reports of gunshots over the weekend. The first came in just after 2:30 Sunday morning, east of the intersection of 11th Street and Grange Avenue. While police were in the area investigating, officers heard several gunshots a few blocks to the west. In that area, police found a house that had been shot and say a 17-year-old girl inside was grazed by a bullet.
No serious injuries with that, didn't need any type of medical attention, but several bullets went through the wall, through the outside wall, into the bedroom, and anyway, she was the one that came out initially and reported it.
Police say they are still trying to figure out if the house was targeted or if it was a random shooting.
Well, the water at Falls Park, it's roaring today after all that rain we got over the weekend. Adam?
Yeah, no kidding. Over 1.5 inches of rainfall yesterday in Sioux Falls, and that was a new daily record for rain in the city, beating the old mark set in 1896. And before the month is done, we have at least one more opportunity for rainfall. So the falls are not going to be draining anytime soon. 53, that being said, as we take a look at Falls Park with a west wind of 14 miles per hour, over the last about week and a half, we've received nearly 3 inches of rainfall in Sioux Falls. We really could use some extra time, more than just a day or so, to dry out, but we just simply are not going to be getting that. Meanwhile, down to the west and southwest for that matter, we actually have sunshine. Beautiful view from our camera in winter. 63 light and variable breeze in place. Areas farther to the east have really been dealing with a lot of cloud cover that has also been keeping the temperature very much in check. We're almost still at 53 and Huron, 43 though in Watertown this afternoon, 47 Aberdeen, 46 Sisseton, Ortonville, and Brookings, 59 though once you hit the river in Pierre, 62 Faith, 65 Rapid City, as well as Buffalo, and 61 in Spearfish. That wind primarily out of the west around 10 to 15 miles per hour. If you're East River, again, light and variable the farther west you go, but overall, it's been a pretty nice day. It's just been a matter of whether you've been able to get in on sunshine, like you have been out to the west, or you've had to deal with cloud cover to the east and even a few more showers in portions of northeastern KELOLAND. We had a little bit of rain earlier in Aberdeen, now headed through Marshall and Dade counties. Or if you're out to the west, a couple of little scattered showers for Harding County, as well as areas near Spearfish, Sturgis, and Belle Fourche. We're going to be keeping an eye on southeastern KELOLAND tomorrow for the potential of some severe weather, unfortunately, later in the afternoon and evening. For what it's worth, we'll get into the 60s and 70s for high temperatures tomorrow down that way. To the northeast, we'll be mainly in the low to mid 60s. Some rain and maybe a thunderstorm or two possible up that way. Out west, rain in the morning, drier later in the day, as you also have temperatures largely in the 60s. We're going to kick off the month of May with a few more opportunities of rainfall. Details on that coming up in your forecast as we head through the hour.
Thanks, Adam. Communities in 3 states are starting the week in cleanup mode following 2 days of severe weather.
Dozens of tornadoes touched down in Iowa and Nebraska on Friday. Alyssa Gomez talks with one Iowa family as they sift through what's left of their home.
So it looks like it just kind of sucked everything out and just put it right here on the lawn.
Sarah Robinson is the daughter of Joe and Joanne Franksane.
So this used to be the kitchen.
She called them Friday nights.
I even sent my mom a picture moments before the tornado hit Osceola, and I said, make sure that you're in your safe space.
They took shelter in a lower level bathroom.
They could hear the house being ripped apart around them. I got a phone call from my mom maybe a half hour later saying the house is gone.
75 years of family photos, handmade art projects, and heirlooms now scattered.
When you go through, you realize this is what's important, not the walls.
Not the walls, but the things that can't be replaced.
My mom is hoping that her grandparents' wedding photo is under there somewhere.
But Joe and Joanne aren't the only ones picking up the pieces. Family, friends, and even complete strangers lent a helping hand.
People that they've never even met are showing up with chainsaws and skid loaders and just saying, hey, I'm so-and-so from down the street, how can I help? The tornado didn't even move the router.
Sarah says she's grateful for the unwavering support and even more grateful that the most important things in the house were unharmed.
If I had a message for anyone watching, it would be when you hear them say, take shelter, do that. Because if my parents hadn't listened, they would have still been sitting on their couch right there.
Joe and Joanne are safe and sound, and Sarah found something they thought they might have lost forever.
And it was hanging at the head of this bed. It's right here.
Awesome.
We found it where we thought it was. It had landed directly on the bed and was protected by the wall that fell onto it.
Oh, good. That makes me so happy. There were just a few things that I wanted to make sure I had. Oh, neat.
In Osceola, Alyssa Gomez, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
And Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds and Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen spent Saturday touring the damage and arranging for assistance. This is what the damage looks like in Elkhorn in western Omaha. The tornado demolished homes and businesses as it moved for miles through farmland and then into subdivisions, and then it moved into Iowa.
And small towns in Oklahoma are beginning a long cleanup after tornadoes flattened homes and buildings and killed at least 4 people, including an infant. The damage is extensive in the town of Sulphur, where a weekend tornado crumpled many downtown buildings and sheared the roofs of houses across a 15-block radius. The Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management said hospitals across the state reported about 100 injuries.